Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What can this slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm gonna burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump discontinues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad, back with you. This is Bettor Off Dead. It is Saturday, August 2nd. Hopefully everybody kicked off the weekend in a nice way last night. I don't know. Man, I keep hearing just loud traffic outside, man. I'm not even on that heavily trafficked a road. It's just like some of these people, man, with these engine noises, I mean, should just be banned. It should be outlawed. Throw them all in jail, whatever. Yesterday, 2-1, and it looked like it was going to be 3-0. Then it looked like it was going to be 0-3, as it looked like every game was going to potentially blow it in the closing innings or seconds of the game, basically. Then it flipped back around a little bit and it wound up a 2-1 night. The loss was the WNBA game because, of course, it was the Chicago Sky. I gave it out on the show earlier at +5.5. I got +6 on that, or +6 was what was out there when I did the Instagram video, I should say. I didn't actually bet any of these, as I keep clarifying. Got to get my money in order here, but that would have been an extremely frustrating one. I think Chicago was still the right side the whole way. They were winning the game outright most of the way, and I believe they were still winning the game by 3-5 points, maybe with about 4 minutes left, and they completely imploded. They had the worst fourth quarter maybe that I've ever seen. Well, probably not that I've ever seen, but man, it was a bad fourth quarter. There's no way. They were covering almost wire to wire in that game. There's absolutely no way they should have blown that. And then even at the end, they had chances to get back within that number. But of course, it landed right on the key number of 7, so 1 point away, which is the 3-score threshold where you stop intentionally fouling. That game involved another green dildo being thrown onto the court, by the way, as well. But this time it was not good luck for me. And it happened earlier in the game. But, man, that should have been a Sky cover, man. I mean, that was just bullshit. We did get the under on Minnesota-Cleveland, right, which was looking like a really no-sweat under there for most of the game. I think it was 2-1 into the 8th inning or something like that. But then, of course, the game gets tied, and then it's like almost all bets are off. But, of course, they're not off because your bet is live. But if that thing goes to extra innings, which it did, you're really holding on there, man, because of the ghost runners and shit. And I'm just hoping, man, because these offenses are so bad, hopefully it still comes in. And it did. Cleveland was able to, I believe, get the walk-off single in the bottom of the 10th, I believe. So luckily that did not go an additional inning with an additional run scored by both teams. That would have been really, really problematic. But it was definitely the right side, the right call. I mean, it was an under. Game finished 3-2. And then San Francisco, that looked like it was a winner the whole way. The Giants, they were shutting the Mets out into the 8th inning. It was 3-0 San Francisco. And then their bullpen, which is still one of the top bullpens in the game, blew the entire lead in the 8th and 9th inning. And now all of a sudden it's 3-3. And I believe it went to extra innings. But somehow San Francisco, I believe, scored in the top of the 10th. And then their bullpen finally came through and held the Mets off the board, and they won 4-3. So that was a roller coaster of a game. And I believe it was the right side the whole way. Charles, what's up? Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, it's early. Got to go to my friend's birthday party. I'm on fumes, man. I mean, it is like, I don't even know how I'm even doing this right now. And actually, I got to turn the AC up in here, which of course I could do via an app here. But let me just do this. This is bad, dude. I'm like sweating my ass off here. I don't know what's going on because I have it set to like AC/heat, and you never like that's like almost all bets are off too. But it's not even hot out. It's like around 60 degrees outside, but up here it's like in the 70s, in this room, and it's like I'm really feeling it. So I got to turn this AC on. I'm only going to have one play today, which is total in Major League Baseball. I don't like today's card at all. We can get into it, man. We'll get into the rundown here. And I'm also having some issues here with Pregame, which is the site that I've used for their free market indicators for well over a decade at this point. I've been using this site basically since I was, I think, probably still in college or maybe just out of college. They've had it's been the same site for that entire time, but for some reason, we don't have any of the book information right now. Cash percentage, ticket percentage. I don't know if their integration is just fucked up right now, hopefully. Because, I mean, they don't have any indicator on their website that says that they're actually getting rid of that, and the columns are still there. So I'm hoping that it's just an issue with the integration on the site, man, because that was the case yesterday, and that's the case today. So I'm kind of flying blind. I brought up Wager Talks, which I like Wager Talks betting experts a lot better, by the way. But this tool that they have for the same odds information is not quite as good in my opinion, but it's decent. So that's what I'm going to look at for this video here. Hopefully this is a temporary thing. WNBA, we have one game today. It's Minnesota at Vegas, and I did tell you when I mentioned that this game was happening. Of course, this gets top billing, ABC. I mean, Major League Baseball is on. It's like, not Major League Baseball, yeah, you're fucked. You have a couple of games on like MLB Network, and that's about it. No, the top game of the day in the afternoon, Minnesota and Las Vegas. Oh, yeah, okay. Although I think most of the baseball games are at night, I believe, but still, whatever. I mean, this is at least not the worst WNBA matchup. There should be a prop on how many dildos get thrown onto the court. The over-under on dildos would probably go under that because it is the story right now. Get under the dildos. Minnesota, I mentioned this yesterday. I think they're in a letdown spot, man, because they just beat the New York Liberty and they just beat Vegas. The last time they played them, a couple games back, they beat Vegas totally in embarrassing fashion in Minnesota, beating them by 31 points. So I think this is a much better spot for Vegas for that reason. Again, this is a letdown spot for Minnesota as well because that was finals revenge against the Liberty because the Liberty beat them in the finals last year. Huge game for Minnesota. They are traveling now, though, so they may still be focused because they do have to go out on the road. Vegas obviously needs this game way more, though. I mean, Minnesota, they have a huge padding right now in the league. I mean, they're almost guaranteed to be the 1 seed in the playoffs at this point. I don't even know when the playoffs start, but Minnesota's looking like there's no way they're not going to get the 1 seed. Whereas Vegas, they need to play, man, because they're sitting here 14-13, fighting for the playoffs here. They need these games. This is a big game for them, but the problem with Vegas is they're returning home from a road trip, so I am a little bit hesitant to actually recommend this as a play, man. That's the one issue that I kind of have is that they were out on the road. Now they're returning home. Yes, the final leg of the trip was not that difficult. They're just coming back from LA now. But still, I mean, you come back home, you have to get back to home life. It's kind of an issue. I mean, of course, they're not going to be distracted with Minnesota coming in, though. So I would still lean to Vegas. But because it is a return home spot, I have a little bit of difficulty getting there with that. But it's Minnesota minus 5.5 here. It almost looks too easy to lay the points. I mean, that's not a huge spread there. Vegas having a much, much worse record than Minnesota. Vegas, when they're on, they could still actually play, man. I mean, I believe Asia Wilson, their best player, I believe was the league MVP last year, if I'm not mistaken. So Vegas, I mean, they're still definitely a good team, although they haven't played that well at home. So we will see what happens with that game. I don't know if this Wager Talk site actually has. Do they have WNBA here? Let me see. I think they are probably in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Yes. They have Vegas, 57% of the tickets and 68% of the cash. So it looks like the money is indeed coming in on that. You can see the line dropped a little bit as far as the juice is concerned. Yeah, so that's the way I would lean in that game. Won't quite make it a play, though. You're barely awake as well. Yeah, 76, that's way too hot, dude. I just turned mine down to 68. Thank you, sir. Andrew, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I mean, people would watch the WNBA just to bet on the amount of dildos thrown. All right, Major League Baseball. I'm going to try to get through this, man. Maybe I won't talk about the market read as much, or maybe I shouldn't even bring this up because it's pointless to have pregame up right now. I'll just use wager talk here, even though they don't have the percentages, I think, on every game, at least not on every total right now because it's morning. Everything's still coming in. We do have some afternoon games, so I was right about that. Actually, a lot of afternoon games. Because Saturday, a lot of times, it's all evening games still, but not the case here. Dodgers at Tampa Bay is the first game up. This is going to be kind of interesting, man. I mean, I give Tampa the bullpen edge. I don't like the Dodgers bullpen very much at all. The Dodgers won 5-0 yesterday, and I told you it wasn't a good spot for Tampa yesterday. And Kershaw actually pitched really well in the game yesterday. Shutting them out, obviously, for whatever amount of time he was in there. Tampa had played the game the day before that, and LA was off, so LA had the rest edge. That might even carry over into today a little bit. So Tampa was in a bad spot, but I believe they're returning home as well, so maybe this is more of a bounce-back spot for Tampa here, but my eyes are kind of looking more towards the total in this game. The Dodgers only use Wroblewski, so their bullpen is very, very rested right now. So that kind of counteracts the bullpen deficiencies that LA has to some extent. Tampa only used 3 relievers yesterday, which isn't terrible. So Tampa does still have the better bullpen, but LA's is definitely a bit more rested here. Might be a little bit of an advantage to LA for that reason. Blake Snell is starting for LA. That's a name we haven't heard in a while. He's been like an elite strikeout pitcher, man, when he has actually pitched. His issue has always been the walks, but he's been injured almost the entire season, man. He pitched, I believe, 2 times early in the season, and he's been injured since then with a shoulder injury. So I don't even know if we care about what his home road splits are. He had 2 games. Dodgers actually won both games that he pitched. He walked way too many guys, though. Again, his walk rate is an issue. He only pitched 9 innings total this season so far, 8 walks and 4 strikeouts. He's going to have to get it going, man. Although he only gave up 2 earned runs. The defense was terrible behind him in the Atlanta start that he had way back early April 2nd, my birthday. So Snell has been out since then. None of the runs that he allowed in that game, 5 unearned runs were scored there. None of the runs that he allowed were earned in that one. So I mean, his season stats, there's nothing that you can really take away from what he did in those first 2 starts, man, other than the fact that, yeah, it might be an issue that he's too wild, but he has dominated Tampa Bay, man. I believe he was on Tampa Bay before, right? Isn't that, yeah, he's facing the team that he started out with, Tampa Bay. But, of course, I'm sure he's pitched against them since then because he hasn't been on Tampa Bay since 2020. Obviously, his numbers throughout his career have been good. Again, really high strikeout rate, but really high walk rate. Low ERA still, though. A whip somewhat high just because he walks too many guys. But Snell against Tampa, only 29 at-bats, but he's held them way down. 3 hits, although all of them are doubles. 103 batting average, 368 OPS, 7-2 strikeout walk ratio. So Snell does have good numbers against Tampa. The only question is, coming off the DL, having been out of the, having been out of the rotation for so long, what are we going to get out of him in this game, man? And that's the one issue. And I think I tend to like veteran pitchers like Snell when they're coming back from injury because it basically means they're ready to go. They're going to be pumped up for this. Like, they're going to come out and want to get back out there and pitch well. I tend to lean that way. I lean towards him doing well in this game, but you do have to worry about is he going to be on any sort of pitch count coming back from this shoulder injury? That's the one issue. So I won't give it out as a play, although I am leaning in a certain direction here. Rasmussen is pitching for the Rays. He's been probably their best starter. 2.96 ERA, 1.04 whip. Better at home, too. 2.76 ERA, even though this is a hitter-friendly ballpark in Steinbrenner Field here, or whatever the hell it's called. Rasmussen this month, a little bit worse, 4.15 ERA, or last month, I should say. 13-4 strikeout walk ratio. He did pitch in the All-Star game. Didn't allow more than 2 earned runs in any start, but the weird thing was that maybe it was because they knew he was going to be in the All-Star game, but Tampa ramped his pitch count down, and he pitched 3 innings, 2 innings, 2 innings, then 1 in the All-Star game, came out of the All-Star game, pitched 4 innings, and then he pitched 5 against the Yankees last time out and actually did decently in that game. So maybe that means they're ramping it back up, and maybe we are going to get a full starter's workload out of him again this time. And he has good numbers against the Dodgers, 34 at bats, not a huge sample size, but 12 strikeouts, 4 walks, 206 average, 672 OPS. Not horrible numbers there, man, for Rasmussen. And I'm assuming he's going to probably go around 5 innings in this game. So I'm leaning towards an under in this game. And I'm thinking you could go full game on this. I mean, I don't love the Dodgers bullpen because they are really rested. And I don't know if at the trade deadline they kind of bolstered their bullpen a little bit. They might have, because it's been a huge problem for them. I'm leaning under here. We have 82% of the tickets, 88% of the cash on the under. You could do it first 5 inning and maybe get 4.5 on that potentially, or go under in the full game, which you might be able to get 9 at some point, because we see most of the books have 8.5 juice to the over. Circa actually is at 9, but I'm pretty sure that's a pretty public, like, Square book. That's one of the Vegas books. So the only book listed on here that's really not Square is, I would say, Bet Online, or no, it's not Bet Online, excuse me, Bookmaker caters towards the professionals more. So that's kind of some sort of indicator, at least just looking at these books. But I would go under in that game, probably would be the way that I would lean in that game. Baltimore at the Cubs. The Cubs won 1-0 yesterday, but Baltimore didn't use any relief pitchers. Rogers had a complete game, allowing 1 run. Really, really good performance in that game, and yet still lost the game because the Cubs had a combined shutout. But I believe the Cubs used 4 relief pitchers or something like that yesterday. Bet who takes it home. I mean, yeah, I guess you could do that. Like, which player is going to take it home, or which one of the refs or one of the fans. All right. Yeah, Baltimore Cubs here. Yeah, Cubs obviously are the way better team. This pitching matchup is kind of interesting. The Cubs have a little bit of a bullpen disadvantage in the rest department, like I said, but their bullpen is the better bullpen. I mean, Baltimore's bullpen's not good, but again, they saved their entire bullpen. Their relievers haven't pitched in 2 days because they were off the day before that, so they have an extremely rested bullpen. So that's at least one thing that Baltimore has going for them here. Cubs, again, I believe, used 4 pitchers. Yeah, they didn't really overwork any of them, but they did use 4 relief pitchers yesterday. Sugano is pitching for Baltimore here. Not having a great season, 4.38 ERA, 1.33 whip. He's definitely started to fade, as I keep pointing out. A little bit better on the road, 4.25 ERA on the road. Last month, not good, though. 5.75 ERA, 19-10 strikeout walk ratio, really bad. He had a good start to close the month. 6 innings, 1 earned run allowed, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks, 4 hits. But it's against the Colorado Rockies, who are a really bad lineup, despite what they did last night. And now he's stepping way up in class to face one of the best offenses in all of baseball, the Cubs. Maybe not a good sign for Sugano, but maybe he has a slight edge because the Cubs haven't seen him before, except for Willie Castro, who was 1 for 3 with a double off him and a strikeout. But Sugano basically is unfamiliar to the Cubs lineup here. So maybe he has an advantage because these guys that are newcomers to the MLB, it could take a little while for these hitters to get adjusted to them and figure them out. So maybe he has a slight advantage for that reason. Matthew Boyd is pitching for the Cubs. He has been really good this year. Shockingly so, almost seemingly coming from out of nowhere the last year and a half or so, or maybe 2 years for the most part. 2.47 ERA, 1.06 whip this year. Really, really good at home too. 1.95 ERA at home. 1.97 ERA this past month. 28-8 strikeout walk ratio. The Cubs had won 5 starts in a row of his. He had shut out opponents 3 starts in a row until his last outing, where he actually pitched poorly, and that was a game I gave out the under in that game when it was Boyd against Misiorowski, I think, and neither of them did that well. I think there were some defensive lapses on the side of Milwaukee in that game too, even though Milwaukee actually is really good defensively. Boyd had a really bad start, though. He gave up 5 earned runs in that game, 5 walks in 5 innings. That's pretty horrific. He kind of got lucky, I guess, that he didn't allow more runs, and that was 6 hits allowed on top of that, 2 strikeouts. He definitely could have allowed more runs, but I guess he was kind of battling in there and, getting out of some jams. Baltimore really does not have a lot of experience against him. Only 4 of their hitters have seen him. 11 at bats, 2 hits, no extra base hits, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, 182 batting average, 432 OPS. So I would say Boyd has a pretty good unfamiliarity edge here as well. I expect him to bounce back. I think he will pitch well against a Baltimore lineup that's not very good. All that being said, I think the under might make sense in this game as well. Baltimore, I know their bullpen sucks, but at least you got some rest there. And it looks like the opener was juiced to the over 8, and now it's most of the books have 8 juiced to the under pretty much. And Bookmaker, that's pretty telling that they're at 8 juiced to the under. 56% of tickets, 87% of the cash on the under. That is how I would look, even though Sugano does make me hesitate on that, though. I could see Sugano getting blown up in this game, and I know Boyd at least didn't do well in his most recent game. Under would be a lean for me in this game, and it seems like with the total being where it is, it seems like we at least don't have wind blowing out there with that lake effect wind, so we will see what happens in that game, man, but that's a lean for me. KC Toronto, as you can see in the title of the show here, that's going to be a play that I'm going to give out, but I'll wait on that. Pittsburgh, Colorado, I don't know if you guys saw what happened in that game last night, but it was absolute insanity in the game last night. Pittsburgh was winning 9-0 in the first inning. Then, the floodgates just completely open, and it got to a point where Pittsburgh was winning 16-10 going into the bottom of the 8th, and they wound up losing 17-16. They were still winning 16-12 in the 9th inning. Who would think that these two offenses would put up 33 runs in a game, although it was at Coors Field at least, and there were not that many people in the stands. Absolute madness in this game, man. Crazy for that to happen. The pitching matchup wasn't exactly good, so I believe I said I leaned to the under in that game, to the over. The under would have been ridiculous. I think I did say I leaned to the over in that game yesterday, but man, that was insane. That's probably not going to happen again. Both of these bullpens, I don't trust them, even though Pittsburgh's is a little bit better. Colorado used 3 relief pitchers yesterday, but they did use those 3 heavily, and their bullpen's not good. Pittsburgh's bullpen is the better of the two. They had some fairly heavy bullpen usage yesterday as well, 4 relief pitchers, so not expecting the bullpens to do well in this game. Maybe for Pittsburgh, they won't really have to because Paul Skeens is going to pitch this game. Yeah, oh, holy crap, it was 33. Dude, that number keeps coming up everywhere. That's insane. Paul Skeens pitching here for the Pirates. We know he's an elite pitcher, 1.83 ERA, 0.9 whip. Even better on the road, slightly, 1.79 ERA, I believe is what that was. This past month, just absurd numbers, 36-3 strikeout walk ratio, 0.67 ERA. He only allowed runs in 1 start over that entire month of July, and he allowed 2 runs in that game. That's crazy. He is pitching in Coors Field here, but he still should probably do well here. Colorado has very little experience against him, too. They only have 2 hitters who have seen him before, and they're 1 for 4 off him with a walk and a strikeout. I do expect Skeens to do well. That's not going out on a limb there. He's obviously the way better starter up against Gomber for the Rockies. Not good numbers, 6.28 ERA, 1.66 whip. Really, really bad at home as well, 7.52 ERA in Coors Field so far. Not pitching well recently either, 6.38 ERA in July. The Rockies have lost 7 straight starts of his and 7 out of the 8 that he's made this entire season. 17-7 strikeout walk ratio this past month. He's allowed 4 or more earned runs in 3 of his last 4 starts and failed to go 5 innings in all 3 of those. So not good for Gomber. He's not in good form at all right now. Does have good numbers against the Pirates, though, in 45 at-bats, 200 batting average allowed, 619 OPS. The walks are a little bit concerning with 7 compared to 12 strikeouts. Other than that, his numbers are fairly good, so I am expecting this game to be lower scoring than yesterday's was. This game, Pittsburgh is a giant favorite because it Skeens against the Rockies, but should Pittsburgh be a minus 200 or better than minus 200 favorite against anybody on the road? I would say probably not. As far as the money, as far as the total's high as well, 10 on the total. I don't even really know which way I would lean in this game, man. If you want to be leaning towards maybe a first 5 inning under and just go with the starting pitchers to do okay in this game and kind of play against what we saw yesterday, that could be a way to look at this game. Both offenses might struggle against these 2 starting pitchers, maybe. Another way that I could see this is if you want to fade that the high run total sentiment, you could go under with Colorado's run total because it's going to be a fairly high total probably. Probably at least 3, I would imagine, maybe 4. I don't even know what it would be. To go under that, going up against Skeens, that might not be the worst way to look at that game either. That's probably the way I would look at that game. And by the way, I did forget to point out the sides in those other games. I mean, Cubs are obviously a huge favorite as well, minus 200 something. I don't think there's any value there. And the Dodgers, let me see, where are the Dodgers at? Dodgers are actually a slight favorite, and they have 64% of tickets and only 63% of the cash. They've dropped a little bit from minus 135 down to some of the books, like Bookmaker, I think is this one here, is down to minus 125. So it looks like some of the money is actually fading the Dodgers there. And again, it is kind of a bounce back spot for Tampa, being in that second game back home after losing the first game. But I don't know if I really want to fade Snell, though. But again, the bullpen situation, Tampa probably does still have a little bit of an edge, even though Dodgers bullpen is rested. Detroit at Philadelphia. This is one of the best matchups on the board. I mean, this might be one of the best pitching matchups of the season, actually, really. Philadelphia made a ridiculous comeback and won the game last night after they looked like they were dead. They were going to lose this game. They were losing, going into the 7th inning, they were down 3-0. They tied the game. Then they fell behind again 4-3 in the 8th, and then they won the game with 2 runs in the 8th. So the Tigers bullpen fell apart. We had 4 relief pitchers come into the game for the Tigers yesterday, so more bullpen usage for the Tigers, although none of them got really used that heavily. Philadelphia only used 2 pitchers, and they didn't use them for that much. They used their new closer, Duran, who they got right before the trade deadline from Minnesota, which should help their bullpen, but Philadelphia's bullpen is still not actually good. They're the more rested bullpen, but I still give Detroit the edge as far as which bullpen is better. This starting pitching matchup, man, I mean, this is what you like if you like pitching matchups. This is a crazy pitching matchup. And we know both offenses are decent here, but Philadelphia's is the better offense, so something to keep in mind. But this pitching matchup is so good that the total is at 6.5 in this game. Because I was looking at this and I was saying, well, this is going to be an under. Like almost certainly I would look towards an under in this game, but we have 82% of the cash, 88% of tickets on the under, but the total has already gone away from us. I mean, it was already at open 7, heavily juiced to the under. We're already looking at 6.5 basically across the board with juice on the over, but the books are basically saying you're not getting that key number 7, man. We're not giving it to you. So you know me, I don't love to go under 6.5s like ever. It's just there's not enough leeway there because if it's a 3-3 tie, you got to find some way to break that. So I have to unfortunately stay off of this game, but still kind of leaning towards this being a low-scoring game. I mean, this pitching matchup is insane, but everybody kind of knows that at this point. Skubal is pitching for the Tigers, 2.09 ERA, 0.84 whip, ridiculous. 1.89 ERA on the road, really, really ridiculous. 1.82 ERA this past month with a 33-5 strikeout walk ratio. We get it. He's elite. We know this. Against Philadelphia, as good as their offense is, he's pretty much completely dominated them in 45 at-bats. He's only allowed 1 extra base hit, a double to Bryce Harper, 17-2 strikeout walk ratio, 133 average, 326 OPS. And I will say Skubal, he's a lefty, so that might even help him a little bit more here because Philadelphia, most of their best hitters are left-handed hitters, I believe, right? Or at least Harper, I believe, is at least. So we do have Philadelphia, I think, does a little bit worse against lefties as well, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I would have to look it up. But Skubal may have the upper hand for that reason as well, but his numbers overall really good. And Zach Wheeler, so we have ace versus ace here. Zach Wheeler is going for the Phillies, 2.56 ERA, 0.89 whip, 2 ERA at home. So both pitchers have the good side of their home road splits too, which is insane. Wheeler this past month, 3.71 ERA, but 36-3 strikeout walk ratio. He's been really, really in command as well recently. Nothing to really dislike about what Wheeler has done here. 2 double-digit strikeout games as well, and he has dominated Detroit in 38 at-bats. 4 hits allowed, no extra base hits, so neither starter has allowed an extra base hit to these opponents. 14-1 strikeout walk ratio, 105 average allowed, 233 OPS. I think we're going to get domination from the starters here, because I do hesitate about the bullpens a little bit. First 5 inning under might also make sense, but you're going to be looking at like 3 at best on the first 5 inning under, so it's going to get a little bit dicey there, but it looks like a great pitching matchup, man. So that's the way that I'm looking at that game, is towards some sort of under, but you're just not getting value on the number for that, in my opinion, for any of those under numbers, really. As far as the side, 64% of tickets, 71% of the cash on the Tigers. The line flipped, actually, from an opener of Philadelphia minus 115 to Detroit being a favorite of somewhere around minus 115 in most of these books as well. And again, bookmaker has it at minus 116, so that's kind of an indicator that the money is indeed coming in on the Tigers side there to bounce back after the way they lost yesterday. I don't know about that, but if the pitchers really duel each other and we get into the bullpens, like I said, Philadelphia, despite the bullpen rest edge that they might have, they might be able to use their closer again here today because he only threw 4 pitches yesterday, but I think Detroit overall still has the better bullpen. Milwaukee at Washington, I mean, this looks like a complete mismatch to me again. Washington, I mean, they got blasted yesterday. It was a ridiculous game. They lost 16-9. I think Washington put up some runs late in the game too. Yeah, it was 16-4 in the 8th inning, as you can see here. So that game was completely over. And Milwaukee, I must have just put in some of their worst relievers just to finish the game, give up some more runs there. It was a bad spot for Washington returning home from a road trip. So in a way, that does mean they should bounce back here in a way, because when you return home from a road trip, have that bad game, the first game back, you tend to bounce back a little bit. I don't know about this, though. This matchup looks like everything is in favor of Milwaukee, though. Starting pitching, bullpen, and hitting, I believe, all go towards Milwaukee. I mean, Milwaukee, really good offensive team on the road, too, although you do have to take into account that I believe Chourio is injured for Milwaukee, and it seemed like the word came out that his injury was actually worse than what it appears. So we'll see, but I don't know. I actually like Milwaukee as kind of a sneaky team to go really, really far this year, man, with guys like Woodruff, who's pitching tonight, and Misiorowski now in the rotation. Priester pitching really well. Their starting rotation all of a sudden is actually really good. They actually have the best base running team in baseball, although they're going to need Chourio back, man. Churro. A bunch of my favorite foods. Let's make some churro Cheerios. That would actually be good, actually, most likely. A very sugary breakfast. And they actually have one of the best fielding teams as well, and all that paired with a pretty good offense and a bullpen that's now rounded to form. Milwaukee, very dangerous team, but they need Chourio back. But anyway, in this game, bullpen usage yesterday, Milwaukee, they used a couple of their worst relievers kind of to finish the game. They used 3 relievers overall. Washington has the worst bullpen, though. Washington used 4 relievers yesterday, and Washington traded away Finnegan, their closer, and one of their other better relievers as well. So Washington has a really bad bullpen that got even worse, most likely. So terrible bullpen for Washington. They're a complete fade, basically, in any situation. Washington's bullpen is. Woodruff from Milwaukee, like I said, he was kind of forgotten about because he was injured and missed an entire season last year, and he's been really good since he's come back. 2.01 ERA, 0.72 whip, 0.75 ERA on the road so far this year. Hasn't allowed more than 2 earned runs in any outing. 4 straight wins for Milwaukee in his starts. Didn't walk anybody in his first 3 outings. Last outing, he did walk 3 guys, but he still basically pretty much dominated Miami in that game still. 29-3 strikeout walk ratio overall. 13 hits in 22 1/3 innings. Woodruff, he's already completely back in form, man. He does have good numbers against Washington as well. 82 at bats, 28-3 strikeout walk ratio, 207 average, 687 OPS is a little bit high because 6 different batters have homered off him. So they have some power against him, but none of the guys hit for average, and the walk rate is really low as well. So Woodruff has done well against him. He's going up against Jake Irvin, who's obviously the worst of the 2 pitchers here. 4.69 ERA, 1.29 whip, not terrible. He's been serviceable at home, 4.24 ERA at home. Definitely better at home at least, but this past month, not looking very good. 4.55 ERA, 15-11 strikeout walk ratio is not good. Had a good outing last time out, 7 innings, 2 earned runs allowed against Minnesota on the road. Only struck out 2, though, so his walk rate is still bad. 3 or more walks in every one of the prior 5 starts. Not really a good sign, so that 1 start could have been a little bit more of an outlier for Irvin. He's stepping up in class to face a good Milwaukee offense, and they hit him okay in 65 at-bats. 12-8 strikeout walk ratio, 277 average, 787 OPS. So I don't trust Irvin here. Definitely don't trust Washington's bullpen. Milwaukee has every single edge here, but you got to pay a price if you want Milwaukee. I mean, I would not beat you up if you wanted to take Milwaukee on the run line here. I mean, that seems to be one of the only ways to look at this game. Maybe Milwaukee to go over their team total because they do hit well on the road, even without Chourio. We have 93% of tickets and only 87% of the cash on Milwaukee, though, so they are very public. The line actually it has dropped in some cases. Bookmaker has a lower money line than what some of the other more public books have out there. Like DraftKings is at minus 189. Bookmaker is at minus 177, so something to keep in mind there. It does look like Milwaukee is public, but I expect Milwaukee should win that game. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, yeah. Churro Toast Crunch. Houston at my Boston Red Sox. I got to get out of here soon, too, to get to this birthday party. And I still got to upload this shit. The Red Sox won yesterday 2-1. Don't ask me how. Where they didn't even know who their starter was going to be, and they wound up starting Cooper Criswell, and he actually did Criswell. He actually pitched pretty well in that game yesterday. Jarren Duran made a really good catch up against the wall in center field in a 1-1 game, and the Red Sox wound up winning 2-1. Red Sox, both teams have good bullpens, man. Houston used 3 relief pitchers yesterday. The Red Sox used 3 as well. Fairly light usage on both sides, so pretty comparable bullpens, to be honest. Both bullpens are fairly decent. Starting pitching doesn't look that good for either team so much, though. I'll give the Red Sox the hitting edge here because Houston still dealing with injuries in their offense. I know they got Correa back with that trade with Minnesota. So their offense is decent, but the Red Sox do hit pretty well at home. I'll give the Red Sox the offensive edge, even though it looks like Meyer for the Red Sox might not be coming back anytime soon, which really sucks because he's one of their top prospects. Gordon pitching for the Astros, 4.74 ERA. 1.42 whip, not good. Better on the road, 4.21 ERA on the road. This is a tough park to pitch in. Hasn't been pitching well over the past month, 6.14 ERA. 16-6 strikeout walk ratio is not terrible, but I mean, his walk rate's not high, so that's at least the one thing he has going for him is he doesn't walk a lot of guys. He allows a lot of home runs and a lot of hits, though, so Gordon seems to leave too many pitches over the plate, but I guess the one other edge maybe he has here is that the Red Sox have never seen him before, so they have to figure him out, so maybe they have a little bit of an edge, or maybe Gordon, has a little bit of an edge against the Red Sox for that reason. Don't know that it's going to be a huge edge, though, because he's not that excellent a pitcher. Ari, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. Doing Criswell, that's right. Walker Buehler, though, is pitching for the Red Sox. I mean, can you possibly put any faith into this guy? I mean, obviously, I'm going to say no. I mean, I shit on this guy all the time, and rightfully so. Don't think the Red Sox ever should have made the move to get him. He has never returned to form since his multiple, I believe, Tommy John surgeries. It's a sad state of affairs because he was a good pitcher, and now he isn't, and he hasn't been since those injuries. 5.72 ERA, 1.54 whip, really awful numbers. Better at home, though, 4.18 ERA here at Fenway. Still, over the past month, even though it looks like he was good, 3.57 ERA, didn't allow more than 3 earned runs in any start. Red Sox won 3 out of the 4, but digging into the numbers, a 12-9 strikeout walk ratio, that's not good. And last time out, didn't do well, didn't make it 5 innings against the Dodgers, walked 5 guys, allowed 3 earned runs. I know it's the Dodgers, they're an elite offense, but still, that was not a good start for Buehler against his former team. Does have fairly good numbers against the Astros, though, at 58 at-bats, a really good 18-1 strikeout walk ratio, 241 batting average, and 685 OPS. So he does do fairly well against them. Although Correa, new to the lineup here, is 2 for 5 with a home run off him. I'm still not expecting Buehler to actually pitch well in this game, though. This game, to me, especially after, yesterday was a complete under game, but this total's out there at 9.5. I'm kind of thinking this is going to be an over in this game. I don't like these starters very much at all. Don't see the percentages on that. It looks like Bookmaker has the least amount of juice on the under the 9.5 here, so that seems to reflect what I'm thinking as well. You could go first 5 innings over as well because you might want to actually assume that the bullpens might actually pitch well in this game and go over just with the starting pitchers. That's a way to look at it as well. Though if the pitchers are out early, I think probably the full game goes over as well. I don't do a lot of first 5 overs. As far as the money line, it looks like the money is coming in on Houston. Red Sox have 55% of tickets, but 56% of the cash on Houston. Red Sox dropped from minus 125 down to minus 110 at some places. Bookmaker a little bit higher than that at minus 112, but even so, looks like the read there is that the Astros seem to be the right side. Minnesota at Cleveland. I nailed the under in that game yesterday. This is going to be an interesting game as well. I mean, again, you have Minnesota and Cleveland both kind of sold off some of their hitters there, I believe. So you're looking at two pretty bad offenses here. I don't love either bullpen, as I already said. And Minnesota did trade Duran away, so they traded one of their best relief pitchers. They used 4 of their relievers yesterday, and they actually only have 6 relievers listed here on this bullpen usage, but they must have added somebody because there's no way a team is only carrying 6 relief pitchers. But they used 4 relievers yesterday, so their bullpen's not in great shape coming into this one. Also 4 used by Cleveland, although a little bit less usage from Cleveland, and they at least have more guys still remaining in their bullpen. So Cleveland does have the bullpen edge. It's been the better bullpen this year anyway. I would say Cleveland most likely has a starting pitching edge in this game as well. Bailey Ober is coming back from the DL here to pitch for Minnesota, it looks like. I like Ober. I mean, he's put up good numbers for a while, but he really imploded this season. 5.28 ERA, 1.41 whip after he was awful at the very beginning of the season. Then he went on a run where he was really good. And then he's been really horrific for at least a month, I think. But he's been out for probably about a month now, too. He's been bad on the road, 4.74 ERA. That's bad. Yeah, I mean, his last starts that he made in June, so he's been out for about a month, like I said. He was bad, man. Even though 24-8 strikeout walk ratio was good over that month of June, he allowed 4 earned runs or more in every start and 7 in 3 of the last 4 starts. That is horrendous. He was awful with a 9 ERA across that entire month. He was getting blasted. He gave up 14 home runs in the month of June. That is insane. In 30 innings pitched, I mean, that's unbelievable. Basically giving up a home run every 2 innings. I don't understand how that's even possible, to be honest. Just crazy how many home runs he was allowing. And, of course, I can't type again here. Bat versus pitch. Him against Cleveland, though, he actually does have really good numbers against Cleveland. And 109 at bats, 26-3 strikeout walk ratio, 165 average, 444 OPS. So even though Ober was pitching so bad before he got hurt, maybe it was an injury that was causing him to pitch poorly. Maybe that time off is going to help him. He's going to come back. Maybe he will actually pitch well. So I don't quite want to fade him in this spot, man, even though it looks like the lean would be to Cleveland here, because I think you at least know what to expect out of Tanner Bybee more than you know what to do with Bailey Ober here. Bybee, 4.39 ERA, 1.22 whip. Not good numbers this year, really, though. He's been good at home, 2.76 ERA at home. 6.15 ERA over the past month, though, although Cleveland won his last 4 starts. The last 3 were against bad offenses: White Sox, Baltimore, Kansas City, so that's not that impressive. 25-7 strikeout walk ratio in the month of July. That's not too bad either. I think I said June. I meant July. His numbers against Minnesota are good in 66 at-bats, 152 average, allowed 475 OPS, 20-7 strikeout walk ratio. So both pitchers do have good matchup numbers. I mean, if you want to look at Bailey Ober's matchup numbers and think that he will be pumped to get back out there and actually make a start, you could look under early in this game. The total's low at 7. I'd open with juice on the over, the heavy juice on the over, and that juice is less, but one of the heaviest juices on the over is still at bookmaker. So the odds seem to be, the money still seems to kind of be indicating towards an over in that game, an over. But I don't know. I mean, I'm still leaning slightly towards an under in the first 5 innings in that game, but it's such a low total that you probably shouldn't do that. Even though the matchup numbers do look good, and Cleveland is a very heavy favorite in the minus 180 range, although it has dropped down to about minus 165 at some of the sharper books there, again, like bookmakers. So some money is coming against Cleveland, and that's too much of a price, in my opinion, to lay with Cleveland. So I would stay off it, even though I do think Cleveland has a little bit of an edge there. Although Minnesota may even still have a little bit of a better offense, though, over Cleveland, despite giving away Correa. Yankees at Miami. This was one of the craziest endings, man. Miami, this was an insanely high-scoring game yesterday, and Miami went into the bottom of the ninth. Well, they were losing in the bottom of the seventh, and they scored 6 runs, and they were losing 6-0 in the bottom of the fifth. Made it 6-4, and then they were losing 9-4 in the bottom of the seventh. They took a 10-9 lead with 6 runs in the seventh. The game wound up being, I believe, tied at the end of 8. The Yankees put up 2 runs at the top of the ninth to take a 12-10 lead. And then the Yankees' 2 new relievers that they got at the trade deadline both bombed and blew the game against this bad Marlins offense. And the Marlins ended up with 3 runs in the ninth for a walk-off win. Really, really insane. So I don't like either bullpen, though, man. I know the Yankees added those guys, but they used 5 relief pitchers yesterday. Their bullpen hasn't been very good this year, so it's not looking that great for their bullpen. Miami's isn't that good either, and they used 3 relievers yesterday, so I don't trust the bullpens. Schlittler is pitching for the Yankees. He's a rookie. He's only made 3 starts, but his numbers aren't that good. 4.91 ERA, 1.84 whip. Better on the road, 3.6 ERA on the road, but he didn't even make it 5 innings last time out against Tampa. 4 walks in that start. He has multiple walks in every start. Strikeout rate is good, more than 1 an inning, but 15-9 strikeout walk ratio is not very good. Obviously, Miami hasn't seen him before, though, so he is a rookie with good strikeout stuff. So maybe he has a little bit of an edge because the opposing offense has not seen him before. Yuri Perez, pitching for Miami, is really good. 3.07 ERA, 0.95 whip. He's been excellent this season. 2.87 ERA at home, really good as well. 32-5 strikeout walk ratio and 1.29 ERA over the past month. Really, really good for Perez. So I still kind of lean to Perez versus Schlittler. Maybe I'm looking at Miami first 5 innings, but they might be feeling really high on themselves after that big game last night. The money is interesting here. 60% of tickets, 92% of the cash on the Yankees, but they've dropped from -120 to -112 or so at some of these books. Bookmaker has it a little bit higher, but yeah, interesting. Because it looks like the cash percentage is kind of going against where the money line has actually moved. Paying a price like that for the Yankees, I mean, you're always paying a bit of a price for them on the road. So maybe a slight lean to Miami. I think first 5 innings, well, maybe even full game. I mean, Yankees used a lot of their bullpen yesterday. Could be a lean to Miami. Grabbing them as a money line underdog at home. First 5 inning under might also make sense. We have 88% of tickets, 94% of the cash on the under. Total flip from 8 juice to the over to 8 juice to the under basically everywhere. Even the bookmaker has it at 8.5 juice to the under. So they actually have it higher than every other book, which is kind of an indicator in the opposite direction. But I think first 5 innings, there are reasons to like both starters. San Francisco at the Mets, of course, I faded the Mets yesterday. They've lost 4 in a row now, man. So, I mean, both teams were on a losing streak, and one of those teams had to win yesterday, and it was the Giants, thankfully. But this might be a bounce-back spot for the Mets because they did lose in that return home spot. A bad game for them, losing in extra innings, though. Coming into this game, they're now on a losing streak, though, so it might be kind of a momentum continuer for them, and it could be a bad momentum stopper for San Francisco where they stop their bad momentum, and maybe they'll do better here. San Francisco does have the better bullpen overall. 4 relief pitchers used yesterday. Mets also used 4, it looks like. So I'll give San Francisco the edge in the bullpens here. But that might not really be something that we even care about because Kai-Wei Tang is listed as the starter for San Francisco, and I don't think he's going to go deep into this game, man. He's a Taiwanese pitcher who did pitch last year for San Francisco and didn't do well at all with an almost 10 ERA and over 2 whip. He was not good. He's a guy that doesn't throw that hard. I think he throws low 90s, but he has a weird mix of pitches. Like he throws 5 different pitches, and a lot of them have movement, so he kind of throws batters off with, I think, sinker or curveball, I think is kind of what he throws, or sinker slide, or maybe something like that. But I don't think he's going to go that deep into this game, man. Last year, he was a relief pitcher, pitched basically 3 innings in most of the starts there. San Francisco lost every game that he pitched in. He didn't make any starts, but I'm expecting he's probably only going to go a few innings in this game. So San Francisco's bullpen is going to get used in this game. It's a bullpen game, which might not be good going up against Senga, who has been good for the Mets. 2 ERA, 1.21 whip, really good at home, 1.77 ERA. But since he's come back from injury, even though the Mets have won every start of his, all 3 since he came back from injury, He only made it 5 innings in one start, and he walked 5 guys in that game, which was actually against San Francisco. Has a 12-10 strikeout walk ratio overall in those 3 starts and a 5.25 ERA. So Senga, I mean, he's been walking a lot of guys most of the time this season, so the walks have been an issue for him. And he's coming off just having seen San Francisco, which means San Francisco might have a little bit of an offensive edge because they just faced him, and he didn't even do well in that game. So his wildness is a concern here, man. So I don't know which way I would lean in this game. And it looked like some of the money was actually coming in against the Mets from what I saw. Let me see. Where's Senga at? Oh, it won't even show me where he is. That's great. Where the hell am I looking here? There he is. 62% of tickets, only 54% of the cash on the Mets. Mets are a heavy favorite, down from minus 220 or 210, into the minus 180s now. Standing on money. What's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. Good morning to you as well. Yeah, so, I mean, as far as the market read, maybe a Giants run line, but I don't know that I would really trust that either. Maybe, I mean, an over is kind of interesting. We have 60% of the cash on the under, 51% of the cash on the over. The bullpens aren't exactly in the greatest shape coming into this, and I don't really trust what either starter is going to do here, so maybe. We do see 8.5 at Bookmaker on that one, so possibly an over. Trying to get through this, man, because I got to get out of here. Texas, Seattle, they're playing a 3rd game in the series already. Seattle already won the first 2 games in the series, which I mentioned I thought they were going to win yesterday, even though Texas has the slightly better bullpen, but they used 4 relievers yesterday. Seattle only used 2, so I have to give the bullpen edge to Seattle now because of their rest situation. Seattle has the better offense as well. Texas has their trade piece here, Merrill Kelly, making his first start with the Rangers. Texas they seem to do really well with pitchers, man, over at Texas. And Merrill Kelly was already pitching well for the Diamondbacks, even though the Diamondbacks pitchers have been horrendous this year, but Kelly has not been. So if he gets better by having the Rangers pitching staff around him or pitching coaches, I mean, that's kind of crazy to think about because he's been under the radar good this year. 3.22 ERA, 1.06 whip. This is a pretty good pickup for the Rangers, in my opinion. 3.05 ERA on the road, good on the road. Past month, 2.35 ERA, really good, although his walk rate escalated. 21-12 strikeout walk ratio was not that good this past month, although he still didn't allow that many hits or runs, allowing 3 or fewer earned runs in all those starts, 2 or fewer in the last 3 starts. Hasn't allowed more than 3 since mid-June. So he is still pitching well overall despite the increase in walks. Okay numbers against Seattle in 54 at-bats, 17-5 strikeout walk ratio, 259 average, 804 OPS. Maybe not exactly the greatest numbers, but not horrible either. He's going up against Luis Castillo, though, and I still think I have to give the starting pitching edge to Castillo. 3.19 ERA, 1.21 whip on the season, 2.29 ERA at home. He's really good at home. This past month, he's been basically lights out, 2.05 ERA. Seattle's won a lot of his recent starts. Let me see, what is that? 7 of his last 9 starts. Seattle's won. 32-4 strikeout walk ratio over the past month. Really, really in command right now. Castillo is. Decent numbers against Texas in a big 144 at-bat sample size. Better than decent, actually. 36-10 strikeout walk ratio. 250 average and 701 OPS. So Castillo does have the better numbers there as far as his ERA is better and his matchup numbers are better. So I'm going to lean to Seattle again. I think they have the better bullpen scenario here. The line is flipped. It looks like from plus 104 to minus 115 here. Looks like 69% of tickets, 85% of the cash coming in on Seattle. That is the lean there. We're looking at minus 120 in some of these books here now. Caesars even has minus 130, though, although Caesars is more square, but interesting. That's probably the lean in that one. I think Seattle actually has starting pitching, bullpen, and hitting edge in that game, although the edges might not be that significant in any of them, but I do think they have the slight edge throughout that game. Atlanta, Cincinnati, very interesting starting pitching matchup here. I don't trust the bullpens really here, though Atlanta only used 1 relief pitcher yesterday, so they at least have a rest scenario here that's not that bad. Cincinnati used 3 relief pitchers yesterday, so Atlanta might have a little bit of an edge with the bullpen just because the bullpen rest is better. Spencer Strider is pitching for the Atlanta Braves. He's like their only good starter who's not hurt, as all the other S's are all hurt, man. The the S's are all done, man. Sale, Schwellenbach, and Smith-Shawver are all injured for the Braves, which is just ridiculous. I mean, their entire starting rotation is totally dismantled by that, except Strider is pretty good. 3.71 ERA, 1.22 whip, and he returned from injury this year, so he's going to have to stay healthy. Although Atlanta's basically done anyway. 4.42 ERA on the road, not quite as good. 3.45 ERA over the past month. 35-12 strikeout walk ratio, though. Too many walks. A high strikeout rate, but too many walks. He is a little bit wild. Small 14 at-bat sample size against the Reds. They only have 2 hits against them. No extra base hits, 3 walks. So, again, some wildness in there. 6 strikeouts, 143 average, 437 OPS. Strider still overall has good numbers against Cincinnati, and they're not that familiar with him. So I do expect him to pitch well overall against Cincinnati here. He's going up against the rookie hurler, Chase Burns. Not a hurler like his teammate who's injured right now, Hunter Green. He doesn't vomit on the mound, but I mean, he throws real hard. His numbers look bad, 6.26 ERA, 1.54 whip. But when you see bad numbers like that and you dig in and the guy's actually a good pitcher, that's where you might find some value. 4.32 ERA at home, not bad. He basically had one really bad start against my Red Sox, and other than that, he's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in all but one other start. Better at home, of course, like I said, 10 strikeouts each in his last 3 outings, so he is really throwing gas right now. He's striking a lot of guys out, man. A really, really high strikeout rate. A high walk rate, too, with 10 walks over that span as well in 22 innings. So he's a hard thrower. He strikes out a ton of guys, and he's wild. But Atlanta's never seen him before, so Burns might do fairly well against Atlanta here. And I think Acuna is hurt for Atlanta as well. So Burns might do well in this game as well. Don't really trust either bullpen, so my look in this game is kind of a first 5-inning under. It looks like on the total, 50% of tickets on the over, but 75% of the cash on the over. I'm not really agreeing with that, as I said. It looks like it's just kind of 8 across the board here. First 5-inning under is where I would look, though. It probably at around 4 is probably where you get that number. It's a little bit low for my taste. Atlanta's a small road favorite, too, so you might get a little bit of value taking Burns as a home underdog, too. And I think Cincinnati has the better offense, too. Although Atlanta has the bullpen rest edge, so maybe first 5 innings, Cincinnati. But I think both starting pitchers are pretty good, too, though. So maybe could just take a shot full game on Cincinnati. 62% of tickets are on Atlanta. 51% of the cash coming in on the Reds, though. So the money looks like it is coming in on the Reds. Arizona at the A's. The A's, of course, I mean, both these bullpens are horrendous. So I said that probably the over made sense yesterday, and it didn't happen. It was a very low-scoring game, actually, 5-1, shockingly. Still, these are bullpens that I don't think you want anything to do with. The A's used 3 relievers, but they traded away their closer to the Padres. Like I said, their bullpen is bad. I don't know if Arizona unloaded some of their relievers. They used 4 relievers yesterday as well. But their bullpen's been bad pretty much all year, too. Bad bullpens. The starters, though, kind of more interesting. Gallen is pitching for the D-backs. Bad season for him. 5.6 ERA, 1.35 whip. A little bit better on the road. 5.23 ERA on the road. But this is a hitter-friendly park here. But even though he has a 5.1 ERA over the past month, which is also bad, his command was there. 33-5 strikeout walk ratio. And he didn't allow that many hits either. So I think in a way, he was getting a bit unlucky, man, because that is a really good strikeout walk ratio. So it looks to me like he's actually back in form. We just don't kind of see it in the rest of the numbers yet. And he has good numbers against the A's. In 27 at-bats, 8-1 strikeout walk ratio, 185 batting average, 622 OPS. So Gallen might actually do well in this game. And I think he has the better stuff than JT Ginn does. Ginn kind of just a rotation filler, even though his numbers are good this year. He was working out of the bullpen for a lot of the season. 3.89 ERA, 1.18 whip. Not bad numbers. Worse in this horrendous stadium, though. 4.98 ERA in this very hitter-friendly park. Over the past month, though, 13-3 strikeout walk ratio, 2.25 ERA. Had a nice 6-inning, 3-hit shutout in his last game against Houston. 4 strikeouts. I don't know if he can really continue that. Yes, the Diamondbacks have never seen him before, but I don't think I trust Ginn. The problem with Arizona, though, is that even though they actually probably have the slightly better bullpen here, too, and I think they have the more trustworthy starter, to be honest, but Problem with them is you don't know what their mental state is right now, though, because, they unloaded at the break, although both of these teams obviously know that they're going nowhere here this year. So we'll see what happens. 84% of tickets, 89% of the cash coming in on Arizona. They're public, but it looks like they have some of the actual money. The line still sitting somewhere between about -110 and -120. White Sox at Anaheim. Anaheim lost the game yesterday 6-3. White Sox offense actually has been decent recently, and they've been fairly decent on the road and decent against lefties, and they did face a lefty yesterday. They won't be today. These bullpens are also bullpens I would not trust. They're not good. White Sox used 4 relievers yesterday. Anaheim, not a good bullpen, used 3 of their relief pitchers yesterday. Don't even know which team I would say even has a bullpen edge. I would just kind of want to avoid both bullpens. Savale is pitching for the White Sox. 4.38 ERA, 1.34 whip. Not great numbers, but he's pitching a little bit better recently. Not as good on the road, though. 4.58 ERA on the road. Recently, 3.86 ERA and 19-7 strikeout walk ratio over the past month. Not that bad. And he didn't allow any runs in the last 11 innings pitched. One game against Pittsburgh where you kind of think, well, I'm not going to put that much stock into a good game against Pittsburgh, but he didn't allow any earned runs in 5 innings against the Cubs either, and had a 6.0 strikeout walk ratio. So he is pitching better recently. So maybe Savale is kind of rounding into form a little bit. Numbers against Anaheim, not good though. In 60 at-bats, 300 average, 777 OPS. Don't like those numbers. Don't trust those numbers. Kyle Hendricks for Anaheim, I don't really trust him very much either. 4.73 ERA, 1.25 whip. Better at home though, 4.07 ERA at home. Over the past month, 5.03 ERA, not very good. 10-3 strikeout walk ratio. Not a lot of walks, so at least he's been in command. Hasn't allowed more than 4 earned runs in any of those starts, but he failed to go 5 innings in 2 of the starts, so he's not pitching that great, although he's kind of keeping his team in the game, more or less. Against White Sox, who are not a very good lineup, 42 at-bats. He has not done well. They have 5 home runs against him and 5 doubles, 310 average, and a quite high 1,127 OPS. So that's not good. I'm kind of leaning over in this game because I don't like either bullpen. I'm not really liking what I'm seeing out of either starter necessarily. Total looks like it's gone up a little bit from 9 juice to the over, with a little bit more juice to the over in some books. Don't see the percentages on that yet. And we do see some money coming in towards the White Sox. 83% of tickets on Anaheim. 71% of the cash, though, on the White Sox. Down from -150 to -140 something in some cases there. Then we have St. Louis, San Diego. San Diego fighting for a playoff spot. St. Louis probably done. San Diego's won 6 games in a row now, including 3 of those being against St. Louis. So St. Louis might be looking for a little bit of revenge at this point. I kind of like St. Louis's starter a little bit better here. San Diego definitely has the better bullpen, though. And only used 2 relief pitchers yesterday and didn't use them that much. So there's a bullpen edge for San Diego for sure here. 3 relievers used for St. Louis. San Diego has the better bullpen. I think talent-wise, they have the better offense, although St. Louis has been the better offense this year. J-Main, what's up, man? I apologize for starting early, but I got a birthday party to go to. Birthday parties all weekend, man. For my friend today, his birthday was actually yesterday, and then my mom's is tomorrow, and we have a party for my mom tomorrow as well. The big 7-0 for my mom. We're old. We're all fucking old, man. As far as the starting pitching in this game, even though I think St. Louis might have the slightly better offense, Michael McGreevy for St. Louis, I kind of liked what he was doing, but he started to pitch pretty poorly recently, so I don't trust him at this point. 4.91 ERA, 1.21 whip, not great anymore. 1.5 ERA on the road is pretty good, though. But his last outing was against the same San Diego team in St. Louis, and he was miserable in that game. He gave up 7 earned runs on 9 hits and 2 walks in 4 2/3 innings, 2 strikeouts. That was bad. So he is in bad form right now, man. Although he seems to be kind of alternating good and bad starts, but last 3 starts, 2 of them, he's allowed 5 or more earned runs. Although one of them was against the Cubs, a really good lineup, but the one good game was against the Rockies, and they're not good. San Diego overall, mostly that one start. They have good numbers off him, obviously. 23 at-bats, 2.2 strikeout walk ratio, 391 average, 962 OPS. So McGreevy doesn't have good numbers against San Diego. Thank you, Charles. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's she's doing well. She's badass Italian lady. So that's kind of par for the course there. Randy Vasquez pitching for San Diego. You know, if you watch my show, I do not like this guy either. 3.65 ERA, 1.37 whip. His whip and his other numbers indicate that his ERA should be nowhere near as good as this. 3.21 ERA at home, so he has pitched well at home, but four of his last 5 starts, he hasn't even made it past 4 2/3 innings. 2.79 ERA this past month, okay. And San Diego's won his last 6 starts, but his strikeout walk ratio over the past month is 4-9. That's horrendous. He doesn't strike out anybody, and he walks a bunch of guys, so there's no way that he can continue pitching this way. His peripheral numbers are awful, but his numbers against San Diego are good, against St. Louis are good, and he did just only allow 1 run to them in that last outing, but he only went 4 2/3 innings in that game, which still isn't really indicating that he's pitching that well. He's not going deep into games. Numbers, again, are good against St. Louis, though, in 26 at-bats, 3-2 strikeout walk ratio, not good, but 231 average, 632 OPS. So Vasquez does have the better matchup numbers. So overall, San Diego does still have the edge in this game, but I don't want to put any faith in Vasquez, man. I just don't love it. Maybe an over makes more sense in this game. San Diego, 87% of tickets, only 80% of the cash. They've gone up from minus 130 to about minus 140 at most books. So money looks like originally the money line did move on San Diego, and it looks like less of the cash is coming in on them now. But on the over, 60% of tickets, 78% of the cash. On the over 8.5, that's probably the way I'm leaning a little bit more in that game. And let's finally get to it, man. Best bets, where I only have one. It's a total, and you know which game it's in because it's in the title. And because you know my methods, man, of course it's an under. It's going to be Royals and Blue Jays under 8. That's where we're going to go with this game. We'll go with the full game here. Both bullpens are good for the most part here. I mean, they're decent. Toronto's up there, 7th in bullpen whip. A bullpen ERA under 4, at least. That's not bad. Kansas City has done a little bit worse recently, but still a pretty good bullpen ERA. Just their bullpen whip is only 13th, but their bullpen ERA is better than that. So we're looking at 2 decent bullpens here. The usage from the bullpens yesterday was not that high. I don't think, or no, wait, it was. Toronto used 5 relievers. What am I talking? Or used 4. What am I talking about? So do I want to go first 5 innings maybe on this instead? Nah, we'll still go full game on it. Fuck it. Kansas City, they only use 1 relief pitcher, so at least we have a very rested Kansas City bullpen coming into this, so they might have a little bit of a bullpen edge for that reason. So I think that kind of helps a little bit. We'll still go full game on this one. Yesterday, I believe the game was kind of out of hand, so I don't think Toronto used their better relievers yesterday. Yeah, it was a 9-3 loss, so Toronto used some of their worst relievers yesterday. So their better relievers are still available, so I think it makes sense to still go under full game. And we're looking at a decent starting pitching matchup here, and I know Toronto will have to go to their bullpen in this game. Noah Cameron for Kansas City, 2.44 ERA, 1 whip. Good numbers this year, man. For his rookie season, he's pitching really well. 1.8 road ERA, so he's been better on the road, and he's been really good recently with Kansas City winning his last 4 starts. 1.84 ERA over the past month, and 33-5 strikeout walk ratio, including some good offenses in there that he faced, the Mets and the Cubs. He's been pitching really, really well recently. In Toronto, only France has ever seen him, and he's 0-for-3 with a strikeout. So Cameron has the unfamiliarity edge against the Blue Jays, too. So I think he could do really well in this game. Toronto's offense has been good recently, but Cameron is such a good starting pitcher that I think he can definitely counteract Toronto's offense. On the other side, Max Scherzer pitching for Toronto. He's been okay. 4.89 ERA, 1.09 whip. That's a good whip. I know he's a little bit worse at home. 5.29 ERA. 27-5 strikeout walk ratio over the past month is pretty good, though. And a 4.91 ERA, not that good, but his strikeout walk ratio, his walks have gone down. He's only allowed more than 3 earned runs once this entire season, so that's not that bad. Went 7 innings last time out, so they're ramping him up. He's gone at least 90 pitches in 3 straight starts, and he had 11 strikeouts in that game against Detroit, which is a decent sign that he's at least kind of pitching pretty well. And he gets a reprieve here, stepping down in class to face this really bad Royal offense. 91 at-bats against them in his career, 18-5 strikeout walk ratio, 220 average, 656 OPS. So Scherzer has done well against Kansas City in the past. So I like both starting pitchers here, man. We'll deal with the bullpens, and we'll go under in this game where I think the money, like I said, I believe the money's coming in on the under, right? Did I look at this one yet? I don't think I did. Actually, it looks like the money's coming in on the over now, so fuck me, I guess. 63% of tickets on the under, 92% of the cash coming in on the over. Don't like that at all. Don't agree with it, obviously. The total's gone up from 8 to 8.5 at most books. But we're looking at Bookmaker having one of the highest, having one of the most under heavy totals on the game right now with the juice at minus 115. So even though it's kind of that way across the board, DraftKings actually has it way lower at 8, which is a little bit concerning, actually. So we might be able to go under 8.5 here instead of the under 8. We can look at that and see. That's the way that I'm going, though, man. I like it. I like the under in that game, and that's going to do it. It's the one play today. That's going to be it. Mr. Cover, what's up, man? You're talking about, is that UFC, Rune and Rybakina moneyline parlay? All right. I don't know. I should know way more about the UFC, but I do not, so I apologize for that. But that's going to do it, man. Everybody have a good Saturday. Learn to toad on Twitter. Learn to toad on Instagram. Bettor Off Dead, YouTube, all the audio platforms. So please check me out at all the things. Like, subscribe, comment, rate, all the good things. And Covered in Uke is my... Oh, tennis. All right, my mistake. Tennis. Interesting. Okay. I don't follow tennis very much at all. Interesting. But yeah, thanks for the tip, man. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, Covered in Uke, my Uke channel on YouTube. Go check out my ukulele stuff and patreon.com/learntotode. The paywalled stuff is Uke stuff right now. You get a Uke Spotify playlist and you get, or feed, I guess I should say. It's almost like a podcast feed. And you'll get to request stuff at the better, at the higher tier there. So thanks, guys. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people bet it, so you can probably find more value there. Even though I just pay attention to the main sports pretty much. I just do the main sports. Peace out, everybody. Love to everybody. Have a good one today, man. Have a good weekend, everybody. Peace.